Good afternoon, guys. So, gonna take the car here for a quick drive. It's beautiful out, so let's go for a nice long drive here and go enjoy myself a little bit. I got something I want to talk to you guys about real quick. Okay, maybe I lied. Sorry, guys. All right, guys, so sorry about that. I didn't really go for a drive. I'm also trying to test out a new mic here today, so I apologize if this isn't perfect. I'm trying a lav mic, which allows me to run it up through my shirt here and try to be a little bit closer and clearer. It is a little windy right now, so I'm trying to block that wind by standing this way. It allows me to stand a little bit further away from the camera. But let's get back on topic here as I drink an ice cold Keystone. Of course, I love my ice cold Keystone beer. Who doesn't? All right, so what we're gonna be talking about today is buying a Supra is one thing, but can you afford to maintain it? Can you afford to keep it up? One of the bad habits that I tend to see from people is they like to buy nice, fancy cars, you know, the best of the best. Great, that's fantastic. But then they get in over their heads and go, oh shit, I just bought a GTR. The brake job on it cost me $5,000. Oh shit, I bought a Supra and the transmission went out. Oh, they don't make that anymore? Yeah, the gear that you need to have replaced costs $1,000 and it's custom made and it's gonna take 3 months. These are the type of things that people take for granted. They don't think about ahead of time. Only thing they tend to think about is that upfront payment or that upfront down payment. You know, they go to get their loan or they go ahead and pay the car they pay cash on it. Use all the money they have, pay cash for the vehicle, and then they are done. They don't think about what comes after that and what else needs to be done to keep that vehicle going down the road and the issues that are gonna come with it. You know, I have quite a few friends that have these cars. I've had them for a long time, and they're way more modified than this. You know, I would consider myself on the poor end of a Supra owner. You know, I have many friends that have obviously 1,000 horsepower cars. They have all the best of the best. I mean, I have nice parts in my car. You know, I have the billet valve covers, you know, single turbo, standalone and stuff. But there's people out there with much nicer vehicles, done much better. But I could still afford to keep the car up. You know, I can afford to do the brakes. I can afford to upgrade parts on it. I can afford to pay for the discontinued parts that you can't get anymore. You know, dash panels that cost thousands of dollars now. Even if you would wreck one of these cars, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe the rear bumper has now been discontinued. So you have to get a JDM bumper, which is not the same as a USDM bumper. It's just things like that that people don't think about when buying one of these types of cars or any halo car in general. Now, I'm not saying this is a halo car. To me, in my eyes, it's my dream car, but maybe it's not a halo car for others. But if you're buying, say, a used McLaren, a used Ferrari, a used Lambo, and people tend to get in over their heads, you know, they see, I can afford $80,000. What they don't see is they can't afford to change the oil in it, change the brakes, change the tires. The electronics go bad. Oh, my stereo doesn't work. Oh, it won't start today. Got to take it to the dealership because there's only so many of those made. There's very few people that know how to work on them, and they're so specialized. So it really puts you in that small niche group of people that, you know, you either can afford it or you can't. And this is the kind of things that I think people are really overlooking when buying these cars. I'm seeing more and more and more people overextending themselves, especially now with the economy up like it is. I'm afraid that this trend is going to keep going and keep getting worse. It reminds me in my mind of the house market in itself. People, you know, buying and leveraging what they have, buying and then leveraging again. And eventually it comes to a head. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm not sure if the cost of the cars is going to make that impossible anymore, if it's going to be the interest rates for people to afford. I don't know what it is, but I tend to see there's more and more people in that manner. These cars aren't as bad as it could be, you know. There is some, you know, funky things about it, but for the most part, 2JZ parts aren't that bad. It's the things that come special to the Supra. If you lose your target top, you cannot buy one of those again. You're going to have to source one from a used car, which people hold on to these things like they're worth $1 million. So any parts you try and scourge off these things, they're going to be worth a ton of money, and they're going to be charged a ton. Headlights for the car, they're still being made, but they're $1,200 a piece. When these get discontinued, I'm guaranteeing we're going to be seeing for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 all day long for plastic headlights. Brakes for the car. What else? Prime example for you guys here. This isn't a crazy high-end vehicle by any stretch of the means, but I had a friend back in the day. He bought an Audi, brand new, beautiful. I shouldn't say brand new, it was a year old, but brand new in my eyes. Beautiful car, had 20,000 miles on it. You know, all highway miles. Great, no big deal. Well, a couple of things went wrong with it, and the last owner had modified to the point that Audi had already cut the warranty on it. They said they're not going to warranty anything on it. It had already been too heavily modified. I forget what happened. A cam follower or something failed in the engine and pretty much took out the entire head. Luckily, they didn't take out the block. But he had to buy a brand new head for an FSI or TSI Audi, and it cost him thousands upon thousands of dollars, and he just didn't think it through. Now, could that happen on a Camry or anything else? Absolutely. But if you're buying a modified car or a higher end vehicle, that's the type of stuff that's going to happen. And if you don't think about that ahead of time, you're in for a rude awakening. Stuff goes wrong. Stuff breaks all the time. I mean, I'll fix this car up and do something. I know it's old. I'll do something, I'll do it right, and maybe 500 or maybe 1,000 miles down the road, something will break on it, and there's nothing you can do. Stuff breaks, and it just, that's part of the car modifying game. It's part of the high-end game. It's part of just that whole culture in itself. What I'm trying to get at here, guys, the moral of the story is don't overextend yourself. Don't push yourself to that point that you think like, man, I really want this. Maybe I can just afford it. If you're that close, don't do it. I understand. I pushed myself when I bought this, you know. I made sure I had all my allowances in line and stuff. Or if you want to buy the car, here's another way. If you want to buy this car, be understanding if it does break, it might sit and you're just going to have to pay payments on a vehicle that won't run. Are you okay with that? Can you justify that in your head? That's something you have to think about, you know. I have a friend who has a white Supra. I have Matt, he knows. And he had multitude of issues. And he got to the point, he's like, Ryan, I can't afford to keep pumping money into it, you know. And it sat for a while. It sat for months upon months. And recognizing that, like, I can't afford to fix this. And you know what? Shit happens. He just didn't plan on stuff breaking on it after just having it fixed on top of it. But that's what happens when you have an older car, you have an expensive car. These are the kind of things that I want to just make it clear. If you're going to be buying something like this or a higher end car and you plan on dailying it or plan on driving it a lot, please, please, please think ahead. Tell yourself that, look, if this breaks, am I going to be able to afford this? Am I going to be able to get to my job tomorrow? These are the kind of things you guys have to think of. I'm preaching this to my very core. I've just seen too many kids get into their heads and then regret it, getting way too much debt, take out more loans, and I don't want to see anyone else make those mistakes. I've had too many friends do it, and I don't want to see anyone else make those mistakes. So guys, please take my little bit of advice here with this. Trust me, it's just not worth the headache.
Another thing, guys, I wanted to throw in here real quick with this. Before I forget, I had quite a few people hit me up for t-shirts and decals. I'm working right now to get decals for you guys. It's going to take me a little bit. I need to find a shop who can do it. I'm here in Pennsylvania, so I'm not sure who I'm going to use. I had a local guy I was using for quite some time. I'm not sure who I'm going to use now. There's a shop up towards Harrisburg called InShane Design that makes them, but there's a million shops that can do decals, so I'm probably going to try to find someone local who can do it just because it's easier for me to get them if I need to work with them versus an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. Just makes more sense. That's my opinion. So I just want to let you guys know I'm working with that. Also, I'm working on getting more t-shirts. I'm down to the last few right now. I'm gonna go with maybe slightly different design and better material. This is my second type of shirt I've ordered now, which is something like this, just a regular cotton. The one I did before that was like an Under Armour material wasn't the greatest. I didn't really like it, to be honest. So I'm hoping for this next one to be softer / nicer, if that makes sense at all. I want something that's comfortable for everyone, but it's also not going to be, you know, terrible to 100% use. So I'm working on that for you guys. I hear you out there, and I've gotten multiple messages about getting t-shirts, getting decals. Trust me, I'm working on it. Like I said before, I work a full-time job on top of doing all these YouTube videos, so it does take me a little bit of time versus some other people, which they can work a little bit faster than I can. So I appreciate you guys being, you know, patient with me. I'm working on that right now. If there's anything else you guys need related to that kind of stuff, please shoot me a message below. If there's anything you're looking for, like if you want hoodies, long t-shirts, sleeve t-shirts, anything of that nature, you guys have to let me know, because I really don't know what you need or what you're all thinking. I don't really know how to gauge the market at this time, not Marcus. So you guys got to let me know. So let me know, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate y'all tuning in for this. I just wanted to make this video really quick and kind of go over what I was thinking, you know, when it costs to build a car or own it, you know, cost of ownership of something like this. It's not cheap. It's going to cost you here and there. Shit is going to break, especially an older vehicle or a high-end vehicle. Stuff is going to break. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. If you're lying to yourself, you think it's not. I just want to make that clear. If you guys need any advice or if you need help, please feel free to message me. I have tons of people message me, and everyone I try to get back to ASAP. So guys, thank you very much. Go down below, check out my Facebook and Instagram. I'll talk to you later. Peace.